Hello, Paz. Welcome back to Master AK tutorial. Today, we want to talk about Newton's laws of motion. Here you have it on the board. Newton's first law of motion states that a body will continue in a state of rest or of uniform motion in a straight line unless it is acted upon by an external force. Okay, I want to read it again. Newton's first law of motion states that a body will continue in a state of rest, okay, or of uniform motion in a straight line, okay, unless it is acted upon by an external force. Okay, now the meaning of this first law is that in physics, uh, we believe, and that is what we are going to be using, that anything cannot move without any force being applied on it. That is, something cannot move if no force is applied on it. That something will remain at rest forever if no force is acted upon it. Okay? In the same vein, when something is moving in a straight line, it will continue moving in that straight line forever without changing the direction, that is that straight line, without changing its velocity, without changing its acceleration. It will continue in that uniform motion forever unless there is a force that is acted upon it, an external force come and act upon it. That is, unless a force come and change one of those variables, one of those factors, one of those factors of motion, that is velocity, acceleration, or direction of motion. Okay, so that is the meaning of Newton's first law. Okay, now what is the consequence of Newton's first law? The first thing about the consequence of Newton's first law is that a force which is considered, which is defined as a push or a pull, is now seen as what? Can also be defined as an external agent that can change the state of motion or of rest of an object. That is, now a force which is a push or a pull can be defined as an external agent that change the state of motion of or of rest of an object. That is the first consequence of Newton's first law. That is, this definition, this first law has now given us an additional definition for force. Okay, beside a push or a pull, we now know that it is an external agent that change the state of motion of an object, uh, that is a state of motion or of rest of an object. Now, the second consequence of Newton's first law is that we now have a new word called inertia. Inertia is defined as the tendency of an object to move or to remain at rest. That is, an object, we want to remain at rest if it is at rest, and we want to continue moving if it is already moving. That is what we call inertia. Okay, so from Newton's first law, the two consequences we have are a new definition for force and a new word now, inertia, which is defined as the tendency of an object to move or to remain at rest. Now we move to Newton's second law of motion. Okay, Newton's second law of motion states that the time rate of change of momentum of a body is proportional to the forces acting on it and take place in the direction of the force. What does it mean? It means that Newton's second law of motion states that when an object is moving, okay, we can calculate the force that have made that object to move. We know that in the first law we have already stated that an object cannot move unless there is a force that is acted upon it. If an object is at rest, it will continue to remain at rest unless a force is acted upon it. Therefore, for an object to start moving, there is a force that has been acted upon it. Now, Newton's second law is now telling us that that force that made that object to move, how do we calculate it? Okay, he now said that force, if you are looking for the value of that force, we should know that that force that make the object to be moving is directly proportional to what? To the time rate of change of momentum of that body. In the one of the I've already made a video on which we have explained what momentum is. Now we're going to apply our knowledge of momentum to get the formula to calculate the force F. When we say that, for example, when we say that Newton's first law of motion states that second law of motion states that the time rate of change of momentum of a body is proportional to the forces acting upon it, it means that those forces that are acting on the object, it means that we are talking about the resultant force. You know that forces are vectors. So when many forces are acting upon an object, it is the resultant that will be felt by the object. The object does not know the number of forces that are acting upon it, but the resultant force of all those forces, that is what that object will be feeling. Therefore, when we say that the time rate of change of momentum is proportional to the forces acting upon the object, we mean the time rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the resultant force acting on the object. Therefore, this F represents the resultant force, which is the sum of all the forces that are acting upon the object. And according to Newton's second law of motion, this resultant force is proportional to the time rate of change of momentum. What is the time rate of change of momentum? The time rate of change of momentum is the final momentum, which is mv, that is mass times final velocity, minus the initial momentum, which is mu, that is the mass times the initial velocity, divided by t, which is the time. So this expression, that is mv minus mu over t, is the time rate of change of momentum. And according to Newton's second law of motion, this expression is directly proportional to the resultant force F, which is the forces acting upon the object. So from this, we can continue and get our formula for calculating the resultant force acting on the object that is moving in a straight line, or let's say moving as a result of the force F being applied to it, that is the resultant force F being applied to it. So like we have said it before, mt minus mu over t proportional to F, we can write it this way: F being proportional to mv minus mu over t. Okay, so in this way, we can write in this way: F is equal to k mv minus mu over t, where k is the constant of proportionality. Okay, now having it this way, we can continue further by saying that F is equal to k. We can factorize by mv minus u over t. But this formula is equal to the acceleration. That is, we know that since a is equal to v minus u over t, we can now substitute this by the acceleration. That is, F is now equal to k ma. Now, in order for simplicity, we are going to do what? We are going to assume that k is equal to 1. Then when we assume that k is equal to 1, what is the implication? The implication for assuming that k is equal to 1 is that, let's first of all write k is equal to 1 for k. For k is equal to 1, we now have, instead of writing f is equal to kma, we now write f is equal to ma. Now the implication is that that is a force of 1 Newton is defined as the acceleration given to an object of mass 1 kg okay, for acceleration a is equal to 1 meter per second square. That is, because we're taking k as 1, we now have a new unit of force which is called Newton, in which 1 Newton is defined as the acceleration of 1 meter per second given to an object of 1 kg. Okay, the force that can give an acceleration of 1 meter per second square given to a body of mass 1 kg. That is the definition of 1 Newton, because we have taken k as equal to 1. So that k is equal to 1, that is the implication. But the most important thing here is that here we now have our force F is equal to ma, which is now the formula that we are going to use to work in order to get some other formulas, in which F is the resultant force, or the sum of all the forces that are applied to the object. Okay, now on this note, we now move to Newton's third law of motion. Newton's third law of motion states that to every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. Newton's third law of motion states that to every action there is always an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, there is always an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, now what is happening here is that this law is saying that when there is a force applied to an object, okay, on a surface, okay, there will be an equal and opposite reaction. Okay, now for example, when you have a book, let's say a textbook, let's say this is our textbook, okay, that is on a table. Let's say this is the table. Let's say this is the table. Okay, this is the textbook. Now the textbook is on the table. As being on the table, we know that there is a weight that is applied. I mean, the textbook has a weight that's going downward, but you can see that the textbook is not moving. It is at rest on the table. Therefore, there is another force that is of equal magnitude as the weight, but they have an opposite direction to the weight that is acting on the textbook, that we make the textbook to remain at rest, because according to the Newton first law of motion, every object in the universe will continue to move in a state of motion or of rest unless it is acted upon by an external force, right? Now this book is acted by an external force, which is the weight, but the book is not moving. Why? Because there is another force that is cancelling the effect of the weight, which is called the normal reaction, which is a force that is what? That have the same magnitude as the weight but opposite reaction. Okay? Because if not for this force, the book is supposed to be moving downward. Okay? According to the Newton first law of motion. And that is what Newton's third law of motion is telling us. That when there is an action, here the action is the weight. The weight is the action. Okay? To every action, there is always equal and opposite reaction. And what is the reaction? The reaction is the normal reaction of the table, which is a force that is acting on the textbook from the surface of the book upward, that is moving upward in opposite direction to the weight. Okay? So these are the three Newton's laws of motion. We are going to stop here for now and then continue later on the Newton's law of motion, that is to see the implication of the second law and the third law, the ones we have not yet mentioned, and the further videos we are going to solve some examples. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.